We'll call to order the regular meeting of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners for Tuesday, August 26, 2014. Good morning, everyone. My name is Langdon Neal. Seated to my left is Commissioner Marisol Hernandez. Commissioner Cowan will not be able to join us today. First item on the agenda is consideration of the agenda itself. Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, we'll move to item 3, approval of the minutes. You have the minutes before you. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez. I'll second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
We will move to the Executive Director's report. Mr. Goff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Forwarded a memo to the 3 board members after discussion with staff. We'd like to get permission to offer grace period registration in all 51 of our early voting sites. We feel that this would save on confusion of where you go to grace period. It will save on overcrowding down here at 69 West Washington. We just think it'll be a lot better to standardize grace period registration. And I'd like the board members to approve it.
This is a unanimous agreement among the staff?
Well, there was some kicking and screaming in the beginning, but yes, it's a unanimous agreement.
Okay, good.
It's not unanimous. That's democracy at work.
Yes.
It may be a little overrated, just to let you know.
And
Well, I think, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if I just clarify, I believe that would be for all 51 sites through the Saturday before the election.
Right.
And then on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, grace period will only be at the permanent sites, the 5 permanent
5
sites.
permanent locations.
I
that
just
we
want to
have.
clarify that. So.
Okay. I think that helps a lot in terms of educating the voters where and when they can go. So I think it's a great idea.
I also think it's a great idea, and I commend the staff for taking it on. I know it's yet another item in the backpack that they have to take care of
Exactly.
and carry around. So
It is going to put more pressure and on the staff to do all this, and we'll be budgeting. Will we have to budget more funds for this?
Well, after talking to Mr. Peso, we may be able to do it with the funds that we already have.
Great.
But if not, we're ready to handle it.
Okay.
So remind me, Mr. Scanlon, that the schedule now for early voting grace period and then
So early voting would begin on the 15th day before the election.
okay,
Um,
in all 51 of our locations.
at all 51 locations. Then that goes through Saturday before the election.
Okay,
On Sunday, there would be down to 5 sites. There would be early voting and grace period voting on Sunday at the 5 sites.
okay,
That would be the last day for early voting. On Monday and Tuesday, the day of the election, there would be grace period registration at the 5 permanent sites designated for early voting. And that would run through 7 p.m. on election day.
Okay.
Now, grace period also would start the day after registration closes, and that would be, here at the board's offices, up until the 15th day, and then it would branch out to 51 sites beginning on the 15th day before the election.
okay. So we have, the registration closes about 30 days before the election.
28 days.
28
So
days.
28th day is the last day.
So from 28 days to 15 days, it's only here.
Right.
And from 15 days to 3 days before the election, 4 days before the election, it's in all 51 sites.
3 days.
3 days before the election. And then 3 days before the election, it's only in 5 sites.
On Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday would be at just the 5 sites.
Okay.
So, we need a motion.
Please.
Would like to.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I move to extend grace period voting to all 51 sites during the designated period.
Right. I will second that. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I think it's a good decision, and we'll have, you know, it'll be a difficult to implement, but I know we will do it. And then, Jim, it'll be, I think our biggest challenge is communicating to the public the various dates and when the services are available and when the particular registration is available. Communication here is going to be a challenge.
Mhm.
I'd like to thank the staff for agreeing to do this.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else in your report, Mr. Gahn?
I think that's enough, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, that is. That is. All right. Ms. Bateman, do you have anything else for us today?
I agree, that is enough.
That is enough. It's kind of your report is the joint report.
Everyone's moving along. Registration department obviously is a department that runs year-round. We're just keeping up with all the registrations we're receiving. When I talked to them today, we're getting up on average about 100 online registrations daily, and they are keeping up with those.
Are those increasing over time?
Yes.
Okay. So they're building.
As it comes up to the election, absolutely.
Okay.
We are working with an organization who is bringing in a couple thousand registrations a week. So staff is working on, verifying and entering those into our system. So they're just busy all the time. Warehouse is busy just gearing up for the next election. Judge's department obviously is accepting applications, entering them into our system, getting signatures from the committeemen and the party. Training schedule is set. Obviously it's tentative, but it is set, which is great. PPA, we have a new PPA coordinator and she's working out very well. The college student program is moving along successfully. So we're just moving along and getting ready.
Okay, a lot to do. All right, any other questions for Ms. Payton? All righty. Mr. Allen?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, the canvass is at the second stage right now. So the initial stage identified approximately 50,000 return pieces so far. And we are now mailing the forwardable pieces to those voters. We're working with both recruiting Republican and Democratic judges of election for this election. We're working with both parties, different efforts, including a mailing on one side to every possible eligible voter in Chicago. So hopefully we will have all those filled as best as we can before we start the training at the end of September. So that's coming up. So everything's coming together in a big hurry.
You're going to work on some type of, I don't know if you're going to do a mailing outlining the schedule for availability of voting, either it's early voting, grace period registration,
The
or
mailing,
same day registration.
the mailing will hit our voters who are already registered. So
We've already done that,
we did one ahead of the primary.
right?
But are you talking about the canvas mailing?
No, canvas mailing, yeah.
The canvas mailing we've completed, but we'll have a pre-election mailing
Okay.
outlining the different voting options. The biggest challenge will be having them go directly to our website to the degree possible, where we can have a calendar and explaining this is what you can do today.
Okay.
Whether it's, if you're interested in voting by mail, if you're interested in early voting, if you're interested in registering for the first time, laying out the options. So we're going to try to make that mailing as much as possible, direct the voters to our website. We'll still have the minimal information on early voting with the hours. But you're right. It is going to be a challenge.
Okay. All righty, anything else from Mr. Allen? Mr.
Nope.
Goff?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just to let you know that Friday, the State Board of Election approved our voting equipment for an additional 2-year certification.
Correct.
Yeah, 2-year certification.
Excellent. Okay, we'll move to old business, infrastructure projects. I don't think we have anything to talk about there. Electronic poll books, anything to mention there?
Everything's going well.
Okay. Voting equipment, you just touched on that, and legislation. Mr. Scanlon, anything to address there?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. New business, Mr. Goff, we have, you want to award our cartage contract?
Yes. We're up.
Yes, this is the section of Area B, which we terminated previously, and we rebid it. We had a total of 4 bidders that responded, and we did quite a bit of outreach to not only our internal listing, but as well as the City of Chicago's certification compliance listing for minority and owned businesses. We did have quite a bit of interest, but resulting with just the 4 that had submitted their proposal. So I am proposing the recommendation of Midway Movers. They were the lowest overall. There is one line item, which is the to from hourly rate for the escalation, for the ESCs, which I've sent an email requesting that they negotiate a lower price so that we can stay within the budgeted range that we had from the previous bid award. And that information, the comparison pricing, is also part of your documentation that I sent.
Have they responded to your request?
Yes, they have. Jerry,
And-
I spoke to Jerry Siegel yesterday, and he's working on it.
Okay.
He hasn't agreed to it.
He has not agreed.
Well, I guess we're going to make this award contingent upon his agreement, so
Yes.
he has officially agreed if he wants the contract. Do you agree with that? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Commissioner.
I agree, definitely.
Now, this is for the section of the city. We still have 4 sections.
Yeah,
This is
4 sections. This was replacement
of
yeah.
Rio.
Right.
Regrettably, we have to do
Yes.
that. So Midway now has 2 of the 4 parts of the
Yes.
city.
We still have Big O and Hogan and Sons.
Okay.
Have the other 2.
And so none of the other, I'm sorry, where is the listing of the bid responses?
There's the tabulation
Yes,
should be.
okay, I see it, I'm sorry. All right.
Okay. So the motion would be to award
Area B.
just for geographical area B for the 2014-2015 elections. The contract to be awarded to Midway Moving and Storage upon condition in the amount of not to exceed $350,000. And on condition that they agree to the further
Negotiated price.
negotiating price.
That is consistent with the previous contract we had in place with Rio. Okay.
A request now that they named that price.
Will you let them know the motion is contingent upon it, so maybe a little more incentive for them
I will.
Exactly.
to think about it in a positive way, of course. Is there a motion? You made the
So,
motion.
I made-
I'll second the motion. Further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
All righty. We will move item B, who's going to talk about the contract with Deanna McMillan? Kelly?
Yes, Ms. McMillan is coming on board to serve as a trainer for our election judge training cycle for the November election.
Okay.
It will be at a price of $50 an hour, not to exceed $25,000. Period of the contract, August 26, 2014 through December 31st, 2014.
And how many trainers do we have?
We have 6 trainers, I believe, but now, we have PPA classes,
Yeah.
we have student judge classes, we have new judge classes, we have returning judge classes, and they all happen at the same time. And for all of our classes, we have 2 trainers at each class. We have a board employee and then an outside trainer at each class, so it's getting tough. So because we tend to have, we could have 5 or 6 classes going at one day, 5 or 6 locations on one day. So, and our trainers seem to, the trainers that we've had for years are always available to us, but we just because the PPAs and the high school students.
We need additional
An
bodies.
additional individual.
Has she worked for us before?
No.
Okay. And how did you find her?
Audra.
Audra
Yes.
was recommending her.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, is recommending her, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Motion to approve the professional services agreement between the Board of Election Commissioners and Deanna McMillan for the period of August 26, 2014 through December 31st, 2014, at the hourly rate of $50 per hour, not to exceed $25,000 over the term of this agreement.
I'll second that motion. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That would be the order. Legal status report, Mr. Scanlon.
The Illinois Supreme Court declined to take the appeal from the Illinois Appellate Court in the Clark versus State Board of Election case dealing with the term limits constitutional amendment. I believe that will probably conclude litigation. I'm not aware of any other attempts on the legal front to attempt to gain this term limits position on the ballot. There may be some effort. If there is, I'll certainly keep the board advised, but right now I think that pretty much concludes all litigation dealing with that particular issue.
All righty. Hearings?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Secretary. So how does our ballot configuration look now?
Yeah.
Commissioner, that really helped us, keep us on 2 ballots.
Okay.
We're going to meet this afternoon, Lance, Jim, Kelly, Jim Ellen, myself, Paul, and try and finalize the format of the compound. Once we can finalize that, we can actually go to print them. We're waiting right now on the state board made some rulings last Friday, removing candidates from the Green Party, the Constitution Party, some independent candidates. They still have judicial time available to them till Wednesday to file judicial review. If they do not file, that puts us in a pretty good position now to move forward with the main ballot. We're working with the county today to actually number candidates. We'll leave some gaps right now until we know for sure if they file judicial review. If they do not, I would think we'll be able to release candidate numbers next week and start moving forward.
Okay, great. That's good news. Okay. We'll move, anything else from Mr. Scanlon?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner? Okay. We'll move to the financial report. We have a voucher listing for the City of Chicago, voucher number 14-08, dated August 26, 2014, in the amount of $391,711.01. $391,711.01.
Motion to approve?
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez. I'll second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
That'll be the order. We also have a voucher listing for the County of Cook. A voucher 1409 dated August 26, 2014, in the amount of $189,982.35. $189,982.35.
Motion to approve?
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez. I'll second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
At this point, we'll open it up for public comment. Anyone for us today? Good morning to Terry. How are you today? Okay.
We do have a meeting with the League of Women Voters on September 6th.
We have Reverend Wilson with us today. Always good to see you. Anything for us today?
No, thank you.
Okay. All righty. Is there a need for an executive session, Mr.
No, Mr. Chairman.
No? Okay. I'll accept a motion to recess to our next meeting of September 9th at, do you want to do 11 or 12?
12.
12. September 9th at 12. Got that, Mary? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.